not using this, and I don't think I will. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Melinda, plain and simple. It's Tuesday, and that means it's time for another Tiny Tidy. Now last week in my Tiny Tidy, I moved some things out of the top shelf of one of my upper cabinets and just cleared out that shelf. So I decided I wanted to move some things that was in a lower shelf, move that up into that upper shelf, some things that I don't need to access very often. And that way to clear up a little space in that lower shelf where I can access it more easily, right? So I decided that's what I'm going to do for my Tiny Tidy today. But I also needed to do a little cooking. So I got some food going on the stove, got that started, got a little something in the oven going on. That'll take care of itself while I'm messing around in the kitchen doing my busy work. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And you know how it goes when you get started with something, it just kind of keeps going on. So watch and you'll see what happened as I did my little Tiny Tidy this time. And as always, if you've got something that you need to tidy up around your house, grab your stuff and come on, and we'll do it together. Today I am going to be doing a few little things around the kitchen. So while I'm at it, I thought I would just go ahead and get some food started for this evening. My husband does not eat the same foods as I do. He does not eat vegetables at all. But I like vegetables, and he does not eat fish, but I like fish. So I'm going to fix a little bit of red cabbage and some fish today, and I can let that be cooking while I'm working here in the kitchen. I have some cabbage here, and I am going to get my pot out and get some water started while I am cutting that up. This is where I keep the kettle and the skillet that I use the most often, and then that is our cake pan. So I keep those right here, and there's actually the lid right there, so I'll grab that out too. But as you can see, my extras, in case I need a different size pan or kettle, those are in the next shelf up. Sorry, it got blurry. But now, let's get this started, and then I'll get some other things done here in the kitchen while this stuff is cooking. I've started cutting the cabbage. I will tell you that I didn't actually learn how to do this until the pandemic because my husband and I, we didn't eat the same. We didn't have kids, and so I knew how to cook the foods that we both ate, and I knew how to cook some of the foods that we each ate that was different, but we ate out a lot more than probably a lot of people did because we didn't eat the same. And either that or I was always cooking 2 meals. So some of this sort of stuff, I didn't know how to cook it because I could always go to my sister's or my mom's house if I wanted this sort of thing, you know, for family dinners or something. But during the pandemic, couldn't do that. And so I decided I wanted to have some. And so I figured out how to do it. And you know what? It's really easy. All you gotta do is cut it up and put it in the water and let it boil. Like, that's as fancy as I get. So, okay, so now I do it all the time. I fix my own food. I don't have to go to somebody else's house to have a good home-cooked meal because now I can do it myself. So, I'm just saying. I got all the cabbage cut up and put into the pot. Put the lid on it so it will start steaming inside of there. And I will turn this down so that it won't be boiling over on me. I'll let that cook for a little while, and I will get the fish started. I also wanted to show you this. Do you ever cut your cabbage down and then see this beautiful pattern that's in there? It looks kind of like a star. Sometimes it looks kind of like a rose or a flower. I just think that's so cool. You probably already know that, but since I never cooked one, I didn't know that. I happened upon that one day accidentally. Just think it's so pretty. I like to clean as I go when I'm cooking, so I'll get this all straightened up and then I'll get started on the fish. And actually, I forgot, I should have turned the oven on to start preheating, but I can do that right now. And I need to grab my scissors to open up the fish. So I will open all of these up and get them put onto the pan with parchment paper. And then I put a little oil on top and I bake them. I can't do it with one hand, but you get the idea. So I'll get these all open, get them in the pan, and get it going. I've got the fish in the oven here. I'm going to set the timer and tidy up this little mess and then move on to doing a few other things in here. In my tiny tidy on Tuesday, I grabbed those jars out of this shelf and decided to use those, and I put these in quarantine up in this shelf since there was nothing up here. But my cats are doing much better with the jars than with these containers. So if I can reach it on my step stool, on my step ladder. If I can't, I'm just gonna go ahead and let these things go. But now the question is, what should I put up in here? Because this is a pretty good sized cabinet. It's a high up cabinet, or a shelf in a cabinet. It's one of the upper cabinets, and this is the top shelf. So it is high up. It's not one that I want to have to access often. So I'm going to put something up here that I don't use often. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm thinking. I'll show you. Diana Simplifies cleaned her cabinets in her last tiny tidy. So I'm looking at these with the light shining on them, and I need to do mine. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know if I'll do it today, but I need to do that soon. But this is one of my lower cabinets, and this used to have a lot of like these kind of appliances and things, and actually before that even, it had a lot of just random stuff that we hardly ever used. I wasn't recording when I did my kitchen, so y'all never saw that. Maybe I'll try to find some pictures, see if I have pictures of it. But I had a lot of stuff down here, and normally this isn't down here. But I recently thought, well, you know, I'm going to see once again if maybe I will use my dishwasher. But I use it like twice, and then I didn't use it anymore. There's not a whole lot in here, so it's nice to have some on hand in case I do decide that I need to use it for some reason. But I'm going to put this back downstairs in the overflow stuff because I'm not using it every day. I don't need to have it up here if I'm not going to use it, right? And we do use our toaster, so I want to keep that here. But some of these other things I don't need to keep in here. I have some Tupperware items and some other like Glad and Rubbermaid type items, plastic storage. And I keep some on hand so that when the ones that I am using on the daily basis go bad, I can just pull from here rather than having to go buy more, because I have the space to do it and I don't really want to spend money on something unnecessarily. And those things, you know, they do go bad fairly often. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Now these down here I have kept because they were kind of ratty, and I use these when I need to grab something, a container that I don't want to use one of my good ones. So those I may keep down here in handy. This thing, the lid broke on it, and it's an old Tupperware piece, and you cannot get these again. I'm sure if I mean, you can turn the lids in and whatever and get it replaced with Tupperware. But I thought, you know, it's kind of a good sized container. I mean, I could even use that for a trash can. But I actually have, there's an apron in here. I never remember I have it. I never use it. But that's what that is. But these things here, these are the ones that I think I can put up in that upper cabinet. And that way, if I do need to use any of this stuff, I can get the step stool and get up there and get it. And I can put something down here that we would want to have easier access to. Now this is what it looks like with those containers removed. Still have my toaster down here, and both of my crock pots are 2 different sizes. And I think those are some manuals for appliances there. And then this is actually our extra silverware. I only keep out 4 for each thing, you know, 4 spoons, 4 forks, 4 knives, that sort of thing. The rest of the set is here because I don't want to have to go buy more if they get lost. And you know, they do get lost. I haven't lost any, but sure as I let those go, I would. And I really don't want to buy more because, you know, they've lasted me this long. We're close to retirement. I just don't want to. So I have room. It's fine. You don't have to let go of anything if you don't want to. It's fine. And then I have my little collection that I still have of cookbooks. I let go of most of my cookbooks because I don't use them. I put the little, or the big container with the apron here, and those few containers are here, and then I have plenty of empty space. It's very easy to grab things from down here, and I could put more stuff down here if I want to, or I can leave it this way. And now I'm going to go up and see what all I pulled out, and let's see what we can do with it. I'm going to take these and put them down in the bottom of this cabinet with those other bowls that I use occasionally, because they do come in handy for just random things that you just want to put something yucky in a bowl. And then I can toss the bowl. I've used some of these types of things when I was doing painting. So after I'm done, I don't have to worry about it. I can just toss it. It's already a bowl that was ready to go into the trash or recycling anyway a lot of times. So just leave that down there. Takes care of that one. Okay, but now we know that this is going to go. I already know that. Now, let's see. Honestly, I have not used these things or thought to use these things. I used these a long time ago, but I mean recently, since they've been down there, I have not thought to use these. This is also a type of a Tupperware canister, but you know, it's just sitting there. And even these, I mean, I used to love these. I have 6 of these. I have a whole set of those. I do want to keep these. When my mixing bowl was like, ugh, I was going to go buy a new mixing bowl and then realized I had a whole set. And so I used the larger one of these, so I keep the little ones down there that go with it. I use the larger one of this Tupperware container. I use it to put sugar in, but I haven't been using this one. I don't know. This bowl looks like, I don't know. I don't think I need it. So we can just let that go. And I haven't used this one, so we can let that go. And I don't think I'm going to keep this one either. Because what I'm thinking is, if these things were leaving the plasticky taste for the food or something, there was something it was doing for my cats. And if they were sensing something in their food, then I really don't want to put my food in it. And it could just be that these things are really old. I don't think it's because they were Tupperware. I just think it's that they're really, you know, they've been around since the 80s or 90s, whatever. And so I'm not going to put my food in it. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and let that go too. And these I just use for mixing. I don't use it for storing. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep those. This is just my phone proper thing. So these I'm going to keep. I kept this one. I had the bigger one, but this one's the cute little one. And I thought maybe I would use it for making tea, but I don't make tea at home because it always makes my throat weird. I have been able to buy some at the store that's already made, and then I just put a little sugar in it, and I can drink it. But I don't make my own tea. So, and I mean, I could use it to, you know, water plants or something, but I don't do that because, yeah, I would kill them. So I think we'll let that go. Now, I have used these a lot, so I think I'll put these in this pile at least just for now. These would be the ones, these I don't think have even been used, so I'm going to keep those. And here's another one of those canisters. That can go. And these are good if I have something really little to put in, so I think I'll just go ahead and keep that. And this lid goes with this container, so we'll keep that. And it looks like these may still have some life in them. So I think I'll keep these because we do use those sometimes. I mean, sometimes you don't want, I have a hard time getting the lids on and off of the ones that are rectangular, the glass ones. So that's why I use these. But I'd rather go with glass for our food, but I can't get the lids on and off easily. So I have one type that I can do, but until I get more of those or something along that line, I'm going to keep those because we do have to put our food into something, right? So I'm going to keep these things. So I'll put those up in that upper cabinet, but I think all of this is going to go, and that's going to go downstairs. And the timer says my fish is done. So let's get that out of the oven. I got the cabbage done And yes, I did put it into Tupperware, but I tried putting cabbage in my casserole dishes and put that in the refrigerator, but it makes the whole refrigerator stink. So for now, my only option is to put it into some sort of a plastic container, and this is the biggest bowl that I have, so I use it. But if y'all have a suggestion for how I might be able to put things in my refrigerator and them not make my refrigerator stink, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. Maybe you have a glass container that has a, sorry, I can't do this with one hand, but maybe you have a glass container that has a lid that seals properly. So if you have something like that, let me know. I guess the other option, well, I gotta put that all right, but maybe the other option would be to maybe find some more glass jars, and I could put stuff like that into glass jars. That's a thought. And I put my fish on a plate so it can cool off a little bit, and then I save out a piece for dinner, and I put the rest of it in the freezer so that I can grab it out and just heat it up whenever I want fish. That way I eat a little bit better. I won't do it if I do one piece at a time, but this way I will eat a little bit better. I'll grab out a piece of fish because it'll be easy and convenient. So that's how I do that. And now I'm going to clean this mess up and then get back to working on these cabinets because I have a few more things that I want to move around in here. This one doesn't really look too bad, so I'm going to go ahead and hang on to this one. It may have been used once, which may be why it was down there, but it still looks good. So I'm going to hang on to that one, but I'll show you my daily cabinet of my shelf that has my storage bowls in it. Now this one, I believe, or one of these in here had been in the freezer, so one of these isn't fitting because I had it so that everything was fitting in there. There was nothing in the center. I can't stand on that and do this too. Okay, I was on the step ladder, but anyway, I had nothing here, and so when I would dry the dishes and put them up in here, usually I let them air dry, but in case they weren't totally dry, I would just sit them here with their lids and then put them on proper later once I was sure they were dry. So you can see I have a few glass ones here. I gave the other glass ones away because I couldn't get the lids on and off easily. These I can get on and off easily, so I kept those, and I do use these. These are my first choice, but as you can see, they're not big enough to hold some types of things. So these are the ones that I have kept, but I'm not using all of these on a daily basis. So I know I use this one, and I know I use one of these occasionally. More likely I use the blue lid one or one of these. So I am going to take some of these out of here and put them in that higher up shelf and just keep basically what we need in here. So I can do it with one hand. I'm not quite tall enough to reach back there. Almost, but not quite. So I'm just going to keep a few things in here. So I think maybe we'll just put this here. And let me see if I can reach that one. If I grunt, I can reach it. Okay, so we'll keep that. And I think I'll keep that one there. Actually, we don't use but one, I think. But if I do find that I use two, I can always just put another one in here. So I have plenty of room in here. So we're going to put these up in that upper cabinet, and this is what I have left in my cabinet now. Although it looks bad to my eyeballs. It does not look pretty to me. So I think one of my lids is not on correctly on one of these. But anyway, so we'll put it like that just so it'll look better to my eye when I'm looking. If it's over here, I'm probably not going to see it. And I would rather see those and grab those out to use them. Actually, come to think of that, I should just put them up here. Because I do grab these more often than the others. If they will fit into those, I grab those. So that way I can have that stuff right there, and I can see everything that I have very easily, and I can grab whatever I want, even that one back there if I stretch. So there you go. That'll work. Okay, so now I have these things in here. Some of them have the lid on them, and some of them I took the lids off. Since it's overflow, I don't think it really matters. It's not like I'm going to be grabbing these out of here on a daily basis. So I think that'll work, but as you can see, I still have plenty of room in here as well. And I have another cabinet that I think has maybe a few more that are new that maybe I can put up here instead of taking up the space on a lower cabinet. So this is our Lazy Susan, and I don't really use it. It hasn't really proven itself to be a very efficient cabinet to me. So a lot of times I just stick things down here however I can get them to fit, and it's a lot of things that are just like overflow, like these little types of plastic bins. But as you can see, I have some containers down here as well. This used to be full of containers at one point. I don't know that all of them can fit up there, but I might be able to put a few of them. So I'll put, probably these can fit, and these. And like I said, a lot of these I'm only keeping them because we do use them, and when they go bad, then you know you want to pitch them. You don't want to just keep them because you know they start looking bad. I bought a lot of these when I was working, and everything was just a mess, and so I would lose things, and I could not find containers when I needed a new one for work to take my lunch, and then I would buy another one. So that is why I have so many of these types of containers actually. And then I had intended to maybe take some to my sisters when we did holidays, but of course, you know, with the way the pandemic's been, that kind of interfered with that. But as things are getting back to normal, opening up, it's very possible that I can take some of these. So when people leave and they need some leftovers, because there's usually leftovers, we can use these to put them in. I don't need to have them back. They can just be used by other people. If I was a cookie baker or something like that, I could use them that way, but I'm not. So this one I think would probably be too big to fit up in there, but we can see, and then we'll see what condition that other bowl is in that's inside it. I let go of a lot of the bowls that were in bad shape. I've already decluttered a lot of those, so that's why most of these are in fairly decent shape. Let's see if there's any up here. Actually, I'm not using this, and I don't think I will. I do use a Tupperware container as a bread bin. I don't put the lid on it, but I put it in it as a drawer divider for my bread. And then we have these. So I'm going to see, I know all of these probably won't fit, but I'm going to see what I can fit up into that shelf. And maybe then at some point make this one a little bit more cleared out and a little bit more efficient. This is my Tupperware bread box or bread container, but I don't use it to put bread or to you know, I don't take the bread out of it and then put the lid on. That's what you're supposed to do, but I just use it as a divider for my bread. I need to clean out in here too, it looks like. Yeah, I got a whole lot of stuff in here I need to do. Yeah, hubby always throws these down in here. So normally when I do this, I take it out and clean it too, but since I'm doing other things, I won't. I'm just going to pitch these up. Now, the reason I have saved this one is because I thought maybe I would use it in the same way that I have used the bread bin, but I've not done it. I even tried using it in my refrigerator with vegetables. I tried different things, but I never end up using it. And actually, I have a smaller one inside too. And I think one of these is supposed to be for celery. I don't know what they're for anymore. I don't know. I've not really ever used them a whole lot. Mostly I've just had them, and honestly, when I am taking the lids off of these things, because they've been stored with their lids on them, and a couple of these things too, when I took the lids off, I can smell the plasticky smell. So I think every time I take the lids off, I think, you know, I really don't want to put my vegetables in there. I really don't. So I'm going to let these go as well. I'm not going to use them as drawer dividers. I'm not going to use them as dividers in my refrigerator because I don't really have anything to put in them in my refrigerator. So those can go. And now let me see if I can get any of these things to fit up in that upper cabinet. Okay, so I took a quick look at all of these. These I'm going to go ahead and let go of. I could put them down with my stuff to keep for when I need a spare bowl for something, but I've got enough, so I'm going to go ahead and let those go. This one I keep just in case I need a larger bowl, so with a lid, and so I just hang on to that for that reason, but I don't need to have access to it every day. These are some smaller containers. I don't know if I'll have a use for them, but I'll hang on to them for the time being. And this is serving as a good container for those, and it has a lid. I think that was new, but I didn't check it, but it works. And these I don't think had been used, so I'm going to hang on to those. And these hadn't been used, but I haven't been grabbing out bowls of this size, so I'm going to go ahead and put this over here in the pile of things to gift away. So far, all of that is Tupperware except for these items right here. And I have a piece of fish in here for my dinner, and this will go in the freezer, and I can pull one piece at a time out when I want fish. I decided not to keep this one after all. It doesn't look as good as I thought it did, so I'm just going to let that one go. And this is what the rest of it looks like. I put some bowls inside that big bowl, and the lid is underneath, so that way I can fit it all in there. I can see pretty well what is in here and don't have to move a whole lot to get to each item. Now in my everyday stuff, I like it so that I don't have to move things to get to it, but I don't mind so much when it's the stuff like this, and you know, it's not so that I have to take everything out in order to get any one thing out of there. So I think that will work out very nicely, and all of it does fit in there very well. So I think that is fine. I'll go with that. All of this is in fairly new condition, even though it's old. A lot of it, these are not old, but all of these are old and vintage Tupperware, but everything's in pretty good condition. And I'm even going to put these out in the driveway giveaway. I've not been able to have a driveway giveaway this summer since early in the summer because it has been so hot and humid, but we're supposed to have a fairly nice Saturday. If everything holds out well, it's not going to be extremely hot, and it's not supposed to rain, but it's in between rain days, so I don't know, it could be too humid. Alrighty, so all of this stuff fit into this one basket. I'm going to put that out in my garage and hopefully have a driveway giveaway this weekend, and someone will take it home with them. And now everything is back to normal. The counter has been cleaned off, the dishes are done and put away, the sink has been scrubbed, and everything has been tidied back up in the kitchen.
I've decluttered this cabinet 1, 2, 3 times. Each time I decreased it some more. How many times will it take me to find the things that I still wish to store? I've let go of extras and things that are worn and things that I don't really need and things that I kept when I did this before. But this time, perhaps, I'll succeed.
Okay, so I started out planning to just move some of the containers from one of the cabinets over into that shelf. By the time I was done, I had moved containers from 3 cabinets over into that shelf and let go of a whole bunch that I didn't expect to let go of. But I've been kind of thinking about letting them go, or at least some of them, and it feels really good to finally just release those containers and to have my cabinets and my kitchen in a little bit better order, so it'll function better for me and my needs, and I don't have all those extras around that frankly I probably wasn't going to ever use again, because somewhere in my mind I just knew, and that's why they were down there in that lower cabinet, and I wasn't pulling them out. So it feels really good. There's a lot more that I need to do. There's a couple more cabinets that I need to go through, but that'll be for another video and for another day. For now, for today, I'm really happy with the progress that I made. If you did a tiny tidy around your house, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And be sure you check out the description box below so you can find the playlist to the rest of the tiny tidies and also the link to Sunday Dawn at the Helpful Home. She is the host of Tiny Tidy Tuesdays every week. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I'm going to put a few things out in my driveway today for a driveway giveaway. I didn't put everything out here. There's a couple things I didn't bring out, but I got most of it out here. It's 73 degrees right now. It's supposed to get up to 80 or so today, but it's not supposed to rain. It's been raining a lot lately, and been hot and humid, so it's been not a good summer for having driveway giveaways. So I'm going to take advantage of the day that I'm getting. I got all of the stuff out here in the driveway. It's kind of spread out. It's not too awfully hot, so I was able to spend a little time putting things into smaller boxes this time. There's some things left over from last time. There was only like a box of stuff left and a few tall things, and so I didn't bother taking it to the thrift store. Some of the stuff couldn't have gone to the thrift store anyway, and frankly it was just too hot and humid to be out in the garage messing with any of it anyhow, so I just didn't mess with it. I just left it there. So it's out here again this time, plus all the other stuff that I have been gathering. So you can see there's decor and just little bits in here and there of just random things, and also the Tupperware and the other storage containers. So there you go. You can see all of the stuff that I have out here today. Looks like a lot of stuff got taken today. I actually haven't been looking out here because I actually had a little pain day all day long, and I could leave it out here for a little bit longer, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it away because I don't really feel good, and I only have like a half an hour or so left, but I can leave it out here anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it away. But looks like quite a bit of it got taken. There's my bubby. Did you get your tiny tidy done? Did you get your tiny tidy done today? Now last week in my tiny tidy, phone's ringing.